If you're a skinny guy and you're trying to build muscle, this is probably the most important video you have ever watched. Because to be real with you, the broad split and the push-pull leg are not the best split if you're trying to build muscle. And I know this is going to piss some people off, but it is what it is. I used to be very skinny, very weak, very insecure, and I wanted to build muscle to boost my confidence, feel good, feel more confident, more energetic, and also improve the quality of my life. And at the beginning, when I started training, I did all type of mistakes that you can think of. I didn't know how to train properly. I didn't know any techniques. I didn't know nothing about mind-muscle connection. And when it comes to diet, I barely knew anything about it. And I've tried all type of splits that you can think of, whether it's the broad split, upper-lower split, full body split. I've tried all of them. And so far, the best split that has worked for me and my clients is the upper-lower split. Today on this video, I'm going to talk about why this split works the best, especially if you're a skinny guy with bad genetics and you have been struggling for years to build muscle and still couldn't figure out why all these other splits haven't been working out for you. And trust me, if I had this information when I started training, this could have saved me a lot of time that I wasted over the years. But now that you're here, this is going to give you a clear direction. By the way, if you want a one-to-one coaching with me, I'll put a link in the description. Click on the link, book a one-to-one call with me, and I'll see how I can help. For the meantime, let's jump into it. So when I started training, I thought the broad split was the golden ticket because all the bodybuilders do the broad split. Like Arnold, Ronnie Coleman, Phil Heath, basically, the top Mr. Olympians. That's what they normally do, the broad split. So this is how the broad split looks like. So on Monday, you're hitting chest, Tuesday, you're hitting back, Wednesday, you're doing your arms, Wednesday, legs, Thursday, shoulders, whatever it is. Basically, the classic bodybuilding split. At that time, it made sense to me because I thought if I smash a muscle with 16 to 20 sets per session, it will definitely grow. Now, the broad split works best with guys that are enhanced, bodybuilders that are on steroids. But if you're a skinny man that has poor genetics, you barely have time to work out, you are busy with life, family, you barely eat any nutrient-dense food, and your sleep is trash. This is probably the worst split that you can run. But here's what actually happened. Normally, I used to train chest on Monday, then I will get sore for 2 days. Then I will wait to recover, and then I have to wait a whole week again to hit that body part. And as a skinny guy, you can't afford that. And that's because you don't have the muscle maturity, you don't have the genetic advantage that most of these bodybuilders. So all of these bodybuilders that you see, they all have the top 1% genetic advantage. Plus they are taking steroids, so for them, the broad split works like magic for them. And that's why as a skinny guy who doesn't have the best genetics, frequency matters. So that means you have to be training each body part at least twice a week. So here's what I did. I ditched the broad split, then I started doing the push-pull leg split. And at first, I thought, you know what? I finally cracked the code. I'm now training each muscle group twice a week. And I thought, you know what? This is the solution. This is what actually builds muscle. To be fair, the push-pull leg is way better than the broad split. If I have to choose one of them, I will choose the push-pull leg. But here's the side nobody talks about. So when you're running the upper-lower split, basically you're training 6 times a week because that's the only way you can hit each muscle group twice a week. And if I have to choose one, I would definitely do the push-pull leg. But here's the problem. If a man that's really busy, the push-pull leg is not realistic. It's definitely not going to work out for you because there's going to be a time whereby you're going to skip one day and that's going to affect your progress to build muscle. And the other thing with the push-pull leg, it will definitely affect the rate of your recovery because you're always in the gym. You're there 6 days a week. For what? You barely have any family time, you don't have time to hang out with friends, and you already have a really busy life. So that's not very realistic for guys like you and me. It's better than the broad split, but still it is not optimal. Now that's where the upper-lower split come in. So with the upper-lower split, you're only training 4 times a week. So 2 days you're doing upper body, and the other 2 days you're doing lower body. And you can switch whatever days suit you the best. And the good thing about this workout, it only lasts anywhere from 45 minutes to max an hour. That's all you need. And the reason why you don't have to spend a lot of time in the gym, because you can spread your sets across the week. Let's say you are doing 20 sets per muscle group. So instead of doing all those sets in one session, you can split them into 2 sessions. So basically you're spreading the volume over the week. So in return, you are able to train harder with heavy weights you are able to recover faster, and in return, you will build more muscle. Now, let's get into the science for a second. Even though I'm not a big fan of science, but this part makes sense. So, when you train a muscle, protein synthesis takes place. Basically, that is the repair and growth process. And this process lasts anywhere from 24 hours to 74 hours, depending on your experience. Now, for example, if you're only training chest once a week, so that means 4 to 5 days, your chest is not being stimulated. And that means you are leaving gains on the table. In the other hand, if you are doing the push-pull leg with massive sessions, your recovery is going to be trash. Yes, with the push-pull leg, you might be training each muscle group twice a week, but your recovery is going to be trash, which in return, the quality of your sessions is not going to be as effective as you want. Now, the upper-lower split is the sweet spot, and that's because there's enough frequency to keep protein synthesis elevated all the time, but not so much volume that you can't recover. Now, let's talk about volume. Research shows that the natural lifters, the sweet spot is about 10 to 20 hard sets per session per week. But here's the catch. Quality always matters over quantity, almost all the time. If you're trying to do all 16 sets for chest on Monday, mostly by the time you're on your 10th set, your performance just dropped. That's what I call junk volume, because those other sets, they barely contribute any benefit when it comes to building muscle. But if you split those 16 sets into 2 sessions of 8, every set that you do is better. You feel stronger, and you are putting more tension in the muscle. And if you have enough tension, you're gonna have less fatigue. And you shouldn't be worried about whether you feel sore or not, because tension, that's what drives muscle growth. And here's another reason why the upper-lower split is probably the best split for skinny guys, especially if you don't have the best genetics. And that is, you can focus on your weak points. So let's say, for example, your chest is your weaker part. You're gonna start with your chest and add either one more set or one more rep. And on your second upper body day, if your back is the second weaker body part, you can do the same thing with that. And the same thing goes with your lower body day. And every week, you are hitting every muscle group twice a week. But at the same time, you're also bringing your weak points. Now, if you try to do this with the broad split, it's nearly impossible to do. So now, here's the truth. Broad split, too little frequency, and you will stay small. If you do the push-pull leg, there's too much volume in one session, and it's too taxing for most people, especially if you got a busy life. And the upper-lower split is probably the best split, and it's the sweet spot if you're trying to build muscle. Remember, we are not trying to be bodybuilders. We are not bodybuilders. Basically, we're just trying to build muscle to improve the quality of our life, to feel stronger, to feel more healthy, and look more attractive. That's the whole point of this channel. Alright guys, that's the end of the video. And if you're serious about transforming your body, make sure you like, subscribe. And if you want a one-to-one coaching with me, I'll put a link on this video. Click on the link, book a one-to-one call with me, and I will see how I can help. For the meantime, I will see you on the next video.